For vulnerable people, seeking justice has been a long and difficult process. Limited access to legal representation, financial constraints, and delays in handling cases has left some spending months or even years in detention before their cases are resolved.
Through our interventions, we started in Juba National Prison with profiling of cases, and throughout our profiling and orientations and awareness, we got many inmates are on remand, and there are those inmates who have actually not taken to court for long, or maybe they have even not known to their status. And through our interventions, we managed to release good number of them.
My big concern is the population at the prison. The population at the prison is too high. We are having over 3,000, of which 2,000 point something are all in remand. The police are not doing a good job. But if you cannot send someone to the prison and the file is still at the police, how do these people get justice? You have to send someone to the prison, take the file with the person, and have to be taken to the court for hearing. You'll find out there are some who are there, minor cases, of which cannot make you even to be there for 3 months or even a month. But because your file is not there, no one is to take your case. Even the person complainer can just come and leave you at the police station and leave forever, will not come back.
For some families, the struggle begins when they cannot afford what is demanded to resolve a dispute.
مام عندي مشكلة كده في بناء أنا حمله هناك يعني لو أنا حملت بناء ده سجونا من ده 8 شهر 7 نازل لما وصل لي هناك لما قال لي دي شنو السجن ورطلهم ده من البناء لو أنا حملت بناء ده طول نزل البناء ده قال لي درنا القروش وقروش من أنا لما حملت بناء بقول لك جيب 3 بقر و3 بقر ده ما عندي ولا واحد ما لقيت بقر واحد منهم طوال في ميل لما قال لي جيب البقر وما لقيت بقر طوال قام سجنوني لما سجنون بيوم بديت 8 شهر 7 طوال قلت في السجن لما نزل ده قال لي في السجن هناك طوال قام طلعوني مشينا كلمنا معهم في الاوفيس هناك لما كلمنا معهم في الاوفيس من يوم الأول مشى طوال رجعت في الميل انا قاعد فوقه في السجن طوال قال لي في دتنوان قابلوا تاني في الميل في الاوفيس بتاعنا طوال لما مشيت الايام ده قام وصلنا عندنا طوالي مشى طلعت من السجن انا قاعد فوقه جيت في الميل ده لما انتهيت في الأجرة في الميل اللي قاعدين فوقه هذا انا برجع في الميل انا قاعد فوقه في السجن يعني ده قول الله بني ده انا الغدام بتاع كوريني بقى مكسر في النزنة الكوريني ده يعني وجس خسر وقاعد زي ده بس ده اللي بيكون زي ده بس يعني إذا كان قاعد زي ده بس يعني ما صلى وما كيف بقى بس زي ده يعني على عجلة بقى صعب شوية من أنا.
For others, the justice system becomes even more difficult when the victim is a child.
أنا باين كده عشان باكله مشكلة أنا سيبه منشدة أنا أقول في السفر طبعا أنا أقول من سبالة بدين غادي أشياء أنا كده أنا جالي جانا يعني جسم بيها ما كويس أنا باسا دا تو مشكلة تجاني شنو ولا ينكي بجيران بي عارف جانا وزول مرتو 40 سنة سن كبير عمر الدنيا تادا وين دي 4 سنة أنا قاعد كوري أنا قاعد مالو أنا قاعد أنا بيبدا وين أنا باكر وين والناس كبار فيه كان رالهم يا أنا جا أنا جاي في تشيك بوينت كمان جبت اللي في تشيك بوينت أسوي فيه جبل أنا ودي في القانون ياو Inagde we do free sitting. Ngala jalfi deru gurus. Anangalo gurus mafi. Ka ngala naganta ngali gurus mafi sele bisibi kama biliga aliga tabinia tani.
FIDA says some cases involving women are also prolonged by family disputes, financial demands, and delays in following up complaints.
We also have women who are put in prison because of dispute between people who are not biological parents of those children, like issues to do with custody of the children. So women ended up having issues because of the previous forced marriage, where now they thought of not actually interested to continue with the marriage. So in the event, they ended up being victims because those who are not, or let me just say, the person who is not biological is now claiming the child, and they ended up being victimized, and sometimes they put provisions of kidnapping of the child. So they ended up being there for long. Like we have a case of a woman who ended up being in prison for 7 months because of kidnapping issue. And if you see, a mother cannot kidnap her own child. But of course, because that provision is done, is put, so she has to go through the legal process so that at least she's released officially.
This man come and open case against me of human trafficking, and he opened a case of kidnapping and human trafficking, of which it is a very bad act. I can be even convicted 20 years imprisonment, and he was very sure he wanted to make my life miserable for the rest of children to suffer. I seek justice, but at the police, I was the worst. They never hear a part of my story. I always ask them, where in the earth a biological mother can be? I have a right to stay with a child. A father has a right to stay with a child. Though he is not his biological father, he raises him. And if the child comes to me, he has to stay with me as a mother. None of them accept that. This man has been moving everywhere. I was locked inside. I sleep. Where men are sleeping, I sleep inside for 1 month at the police station. After 1 month and 3 days, I was transferred to the prison services. I was in prison for 4 months. He tells these people that I have been abducting children, selling them to Australia. I am a businesswoman, have used money for prostitution and so on. I feel ashamed when I come out among the inmates. They always pin the point at me that this is a woman doing business with people's children. I tell them, you don't understand. This is my own child. It's not someone's child. But because of money or what, I don't know. No one could understand me.
The consequences have been severe for people who cannot afford legal representation or navigate the justice system on their own. FIDA says its legal clinics have been identifying such cases and providing free legal assistance to vulnerable groups.
Federation of Women Lawyers is a women-led organization, and through our partners, we actually render legal aids, free legal aid services mostly to vulnerable communities. Before sometimes we focus on women, but now these components we include other vulnerable groups like men, juveniles, and other people. So through the support of UNDP, we managed to establish 3 legal clinics. One is in our office, which is managing Juba National Prison. Then we have 1 legal clinic in Lologo, which is actually supporting people in Lologo and Korwoliang, and also supporting cases of ADR, alternative dispute resolution. Then the 3rd one we have in POC Camp 3, which is managing Camp 3 and Camp 1.
But legal representation is only part of the challenge. FIDA says overcrowding, limited facilities, and the large number of people awaiting trial continue to put pressure on the justice and detention system.
Juba National Prison these days is overcrowded. It's like 3,000 plus, based on the current assessment that when we are doing that for, and within those 3,000, you see 2,000 plus, these are people who are not actually taken to court, like those are on remand. So it has a very big impact on the population, issues to do with food, issues to do with water and health facility. You see they ended up having sicknesses, and sometimes some of them just lost their life in the process because of the medical condition that the prisons cannot support.
Government, social welfare authorities are also involved in supporting vulnerable people, particularly those returning to their families after detention.
في سجن بتاع النسوان واطفال وبعدين سجن الكبير عندنا باحث اجتماعي هناك بيشوف الناس اللي هناك ده المظلومين يا طول ما مظلومين اللي بيحتاج يحلوا مشكلته ما بيحتاج قاعد ما محكومين منتظرين لفتره طويل ده دور بتاعنا هناك فمن هنا اننا بنحاول نفتش الجهات المعنيه من المحامين عشان يجيفوا قانونيا عشان يسهل ويساعد ويساعد الزول المضطر اللي قاعد في سجن. إضافة إلى ذلك أنا هنا في محكمة بتاعت الأطفال ومحكمة جيبي جوفنايل كورت أنا هنا برضو عندنا سوشيال وركرز هناك عشان برضو بيعمل كانسلينج وبيساعد كمان الناس المظلومين أو كان ودوا في محكمة وكمان بينبهنا قال في جهة كده عشان بنحاول نعمل الحماية أو بنحاول نفكوا من البواسة بتاعت المحامين شغالين معنا أو أننا عندنا ربط أو وأصدقاء مع بعض. في نفس الوقت كمان في أي نقطة بوليس في نقاط بوليس معين أننا عندنا باحثين اجتماعيين يعني خاصة مشاكل العنف ضد المرأة والأطفال الصغار وكيسز كمان بتاعت الاغتصاب بالذات فده أننا عندنا فيه باحثين اجتماعيين من خلال ذاك الباحث الاجتماعي يقعد يشوف هل الكيس ده حصل ولا ما حصل واذا كان حصل المتحرر شال الكلام ده بطريقه كويس القضيه دي وصل محكمه ولا ما وصل محكمه الزول ده حكموه ولا ما حكموه واذا كان ما حكموه ليه بيسموا شنو والزول ده ليه فكوه بالضمانه بعدين الزول المتضرر ده هل يتحرك من هناك جاء لغايه مستشفى ولا ما جاء مستشفى كان جاء مستشفى عندنا قسم هناك بيقولوا وان ستوك سنتر ده فيه خدمات من ضمن الخدمات في خدمات علاجيه بقوم بها الدكاتره في خدمات بتاعت الباحثين الاجتماعيين بقوم بيعمل كانسلينج وفي خدمات ثانيه اللي هو بتاعت المحامين موجودين هناك برضه ده عشان بيساعدوا بالنسبه للليجال ايدز عشان بيساعدوا كيف القضيه ده يمشي محكمه وهل كان ده بيت صغير اقل من 18 سنه هل عنده شهاده ميلاد ولا ما عنده شهاده ميلاد كان ما عنده أنا نعمل شنو نمشي كمان مع الشؤون القانونية وبتاع يضطروا له شهادة ميلاد بطريقة قانونيا عشان بعدك يمشي المحكمة ده إجراءاتنا قاعدين نعمله ويد بيد نار شغالين مع منظمة فيدا سوا.
For people with limited resources, accessing justice can mean navigating a system they cannot afford or understand on their own. The cases highlighted by legal aid providers raise questions about how justice can become more accessible, timely, and fair for the most vulnerable. Jabe Janet Emmanuel, King TV, Juba.
This is King Media, Beyond the News.